I'm Dr. John Gartner.
And I'm Dr. Harry Siegel.
And welcome to this preview of Shrinking Trump.
This week on our show, we interview Laurie Winer, really an extraordinary person. She was a co-founder of the LA Review of Books. She was a reviewer for the LA Times. She's an author of several books, and she's working on a kind of personal memoir called The Hitler Tour. And we thought it would be wonderful to have her back on the show, and we were not disappointed. Right, John?
Never.
So we're going to show you a clip just to give you a taste of what's on the show.
What is it you're reading now or thinking about or reflecting about that is resonating with you with what we're going through right now?
Well, the first thing is the irrefutable and most kind of extremely disturbing aspect of it, which is that this is an administration that is based on lies. It lies about everything. And we know that catastrophe is coming because of the centrality of lying to this administration, because that is the official philosophy of totalitarianism. And they brand as nonsensical the idea that there is a objective truth. And that is how the leader becomes the great leader. So that absolute out of control lying is we've seen it before over and over again, and it does not bode well. I think that, and you'll forgive me for kind of sticking, there's all kinds of other examples that one can use, Bolsonaro or Mussolini or, Viktor Orban, but I'm going to stick to the German thing because that's what I've been reading about.
Sure.
I think that there's two kinds of people who rise to the surface under this kind of leadership, which is, it's all cronyism and ineptitude, and expertise has to be avoided at all costs because that will destroy the reality that they're building.
Exactly. Right.
So the people who get elevated to leadership positions, I put into two camps. The first one is the majority of them, which are the people who, the phrase is, they work toward the Führer. That was a phrase that one of Hitler's minions came up with. What it means is that both Hitler and Trump were not fanatical about detail. So in order to make yourself recognized by them, you would fill in what they wanted, and you would invent a way to please them. And I think the best two examples of that right now are Kash Patel and this character, Stephen Cheng, who's going to be the head of the communications, the White House communications. And I'm sure I'm telling you things that you already know, but, Kash Patel, he was a public defender in Florida, and he worked for Devin Nunes, and now he is Trump's, number one defender. He's going to possibly be the head of the FBI. And he says, we're going to go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media. We're going to come after people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig elections. We're going to come after you, whether it's criminally or civilly, we don't know, but we're going to come after you, and we're going to use the Constitution to prosecute you for crimes that you claim we committed. So that's Kash Patel, and then Stephen Cheng. It was the one who came from the Ultimate Fighting Championship. He was doing communications for the Ultimate Fighting Championship Network, and he's the one who took up for Trump when Trump referred to his political enemies as vermin that needed to be rooted out. This is what Stephen Cheng said. He said, those people who are protesting, they're trying to make that ridiculous assertion. They're clearly snowflakes grasping for anything because they're suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, and their sad, miserable existence will be crushed when President Trump returns to the White House. Now, this is not normal political rhetoric. I mean,
right. That's right.
This is very extreme.
Yeah.
So none of that is good. And then the second kind of person who rises to the top is the person who leads the Führer. That is like, this would be like Reinhard Heydrich, who was like the Naziest Nazi. He was the one who was assassinated in Prague in 1942. And that's Stephen Miller, who worked so tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure that family separation happened, and fought against lots of people who did not want to do it. And it wasn't even his bailiwick, but he fought tirelessly so he's that kind of.
I think the quintessential example now is Elon Musk. Before you came on, we were talking about how this Elon Musk has become both kind of a Rasputin sort of figure. He's now living at Mar-a-Lago on a mostly permanent basis, really. And at the same time, he's also the richest man in the world. So he has all of this influence. He controls the infrastructure. He controls Starlink, and also he's whispering in Trump's ear, I'm going to make you a real billionaire. I'm the richest man in the world. Stick with me. We're going to take this Bitcoin thing, and we're all going to get rich. So I think Trump is actually out. Harriet has come up with the theory, and I happen to think the data supports it, that Trump is outsourcing his brain because he does have dementia. And so he really cannot formulate any of these policies or even of these schemes. He can't even come up with his own grifts unless it's selling waffles or something with his name on it. So what he's doing is he's smart enough to outsource his planning to Musk, who is brilliant and is energetic and is effective and has all this power and is connected, and who is attaching himself to Trump, right? To basically be the person, like the first person he talks to in the morning and the last person he talks to at night. He's there in meetings with foreign leaders. He's on calls, with all kinds of people. He's making staffing recommendations and decisions. So I think he fits your second category, and he scares me.
Yeah. And he's probably not the richest man in the world. Putin is probably the richest man in the world. But, the oligarchs seem to have won for the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was going to just talk about the timeline of how Hitler cemented power as a possible, we're all thinking about what's this year going to be like? What's it going to feel like? How are we going to take it in? What are we going to do? Right. And if we're looking at, just, briefly, because I know you all know this, but it's interesting to look at the timeline, how long it takes. Yes. Okay. So Hitler becomes chancellor on January 30th, 1933. Now, some things go on exactly as they had been going on, right? Like, for instance, the Munich Post, which had been covering Hitler, with great detail, all of his dirty deeds for 10 years since, the beer hall putsch. They're still publishing every day headlines like "Germany under the Hitler regime, political murder and terror." They're reporting this. So some things are still going on as normal. Of course, in March, they'll be totally shut down. But in February, they're still reporting. And in March, most of their journalists will be sent to Dachau. But for right now, they are still reporting. So that's at the end of January. On February 20th. So,
Laura, are you telling us we at least have 2 good months left? That as members, junior members of the press, that like basically enjoy these 2 months because
I hear you guys talk about your worries and laugh, but it is worrisome. It is very worrisome. But what can you do? But you have to laugh because it's so crazy.
All right, so if you want to see more of her interview and also the rest of our show, you can tune in to the Really American Network. We drop the show every Friday at 3 p.m. We hope to see you there.
See you there.